There's actually 3 common ways. I will show you all of them and how to do them, as well as why you should or shouldn't do each one, because some put a little bit more wear and tear on the clutch and transmission and engine. For shifting way number 1, the steps are accelerating, you're ready to shift, you let off the throttle, you pull in the clutch, you get your boot, your toes under the shifter, and then you pull it up, let off, and then you let out the clutch, and then you get back on the gas again. This is the most common, easiest, smoothest way to shift gears on a dirt bike. Let's try it out. All right, we're going in first gear. Gonna accelerate, ready to shift. Let off the throttle, pull in the clutch, shift up, let out the clutch, and then get back on the throttle. Now that, in dirt biking time, was an eternity. That was a very long shift. It took a long time to do that. But once you practice this over and over again, it's gonna become so quick and easy, like this. That was a shift right there. So go back down to first, accelerate, let off, clutch, shift, let off, clutch, get back on the throttle. Way number 2 to shift is the same, you're just not using the clutch. You're accelerating, you're ready to shift, you let off the throttle, and you just shift up a gear. And then you get back on the throttle. The key is to let off at the proper time and then get back on the proper time. Because if you're just holding the throttle open while shifting, you're going to put a lot more wear and tear on the engine. It's going to sound like ring. This goes whether you're using the clutch or not. So you want to unload the transmission, because when you're accelerating, the gears are turning, they're pushing, and when you let off the throttle, it's going to take that load off of them, reducing the stress on the gears. That's when it's easier to shift, and then you can get back on the throttle, so the gears are going to start pushing each other again, if that makes sense. So we'll try it here. Okay, we're in first gear, accelerating, let off, shift up, get back on. Not touching the clutch, I'm just letting off of the throttle. Some people will say that this is a lot harder on the transmission because you're not taking the load completely off by using the clutch. And I kind of agree with that. Yes, it will be a little bit easier if you're using the clutch while shifting. However, dirt bike clutches and transmission are meant to be shifted without the clutch. They got a sequential transmission, so 1 gear at a time. The main thing is letting off of that throttle completely right before you shift, and then after you shift, getting back on it. By letting off the throttle, you're going to reduce the load and the wear and tear on the transmission. Now the third and final way is a more advanced technique. It's faster, but it's pretty much for racing only. I wouldn't recommend it because it's going to put more wear and tear on the clutch. And this is holding the throttle wide open and using the clutch while shifting. So it'll sound like instead of ramp, ramp, ramp. So way number 3 will go like this. Oh, look at that dust cloud. Yeah, I'm pretty cool. No, you're not. If you're just doing it in a parking lot like I am and there's a bunch of people, you're stupid. Save that for the racetrack. Now when you're coming to a stop, you can pull in the clutch, tap down. I'm in first gear because it won't go down anymore. When you're coming to a complete stop, make sure the clutch is pulled in, otherwise the engine's going to stall. You don't need to use the clutch and shifting, but it's a little bit smoother. And just remember that you can only shift 1 gear at a time, whether it's going up or down. So don't slam on the gear to try and go down 3 gears at a time. Just 1 easy click down or up. And if you're struggling to find neutral is when no gears are engaged. You can roll the bike forward. So if you have no idea what gear you're in, we'll just start in, I don't know, 4th gear. The rear tire is locked up whether you go forward or backward a few inches. What I like to do is roll the bike back and forth while tapping down on the gear shifter, and now it won't go down anymore. That means it's all the way down in first gear, and neutral on a two-stroke is typically in between first and second. So we go down all the way to first, and then rock it a little bit, and then half a click up. You'll hear that little click, and then if it rolls forward or backward, then you know you're in neutral. And you can start it in gear if you pull the clutch in, but it's a little bit harder because there's more friction on the engine. That's why it's easier to start it in neutral. Now, what if you're struggling to shift gears with dirt bike boots? Because if you're a new rider, you probably got some fresh dirt bike boots, and if you don't, you should. If you're just using tennis shoes or work boots, they don't have the proper ankle and shin protection. So if your dirt bike boots are stiff, I got another video on how to shift gears with stiff dirt bike boots up here. I'm Kelly Fagan from MX Hideout. Ride safe, have fun.